What is up, YouTube? Eradicate here. Today we got a Sun doubles team, one of my favorite teams to run in doubles. Favorite weather, that's for definitely sure, and probably my favorite doubles team of all time. I did make some sweet changes to kind of help counter some of the Gen 7 metagame. However, if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, some of the OGs, you'll probably recognize this team is pretty similar. It's one of the first videos I actually made. I'll leave the link to that video in the description below. It was also a Sun doubles team. It's just a team I'm very comfortable with, very offensive. One of the few times I'm really comfortable with an offensive team. I'm usually more of a kind of wait around predict, although in doubles there's a lot of predicting with protects and whatnot. However, here we go, we're getting right into the analysis. I've been stalling around too much in these videos. We gotta get right into the analysis here. Mega Charizard-Y obviously is your sun setter. Venusaur Life Orb, we'll go into sets obviously in more detail in a minute. Heatran, Landorus-Therian, Arcanine, and Thundurus. You can run Torkoal instead of Landorus, instead of Heatran or Arcanine. We'll go over that again in detail. This team only really utilizes one sun setter, so you gotta be really careful with your Charizard-Y. I choose Blaze for its pre-mega ability, but it doesn't really matter what you're going to run for that. Solar Beam, Fire Blast, Protect, and Roost. Roost, you need to use Roost on this set to keep him healthy. You can run something else instead of Protect, however I really recommend this, as a lot of times he will be targeted, and that can kind of help your partner get some free hits off as he's kind of sponge attack. So if they go for Thunder against him, or they go for any kind of move, like a lot of the water types you'll see in doubles. There's a lot of rain teams out and about right now, boys. Set, I run Special Attack Nature. You can run Speed. I'm actually running HP on this, again, to help him keep him a little bit bulkier. This has cost me, I think, in a fight. I think I went 9-1 with this team. I did 10 battles with this team. I did 10 battles with each weather team, as you'll see in the upcoming 2 weeks. I'll be having a lot of doubles OU battles. And this team's the one that did the best. I think my sand team went like 6-4. Everything went at least 5-5. If it didn't go at least 5-5, we didn't keep it. I'll go over that in more details in those videos. However, I think the worst team was the Sand team at 6-4 because Mega T-Tar's not released yet. Come on, Game Freak, get on that. Anyway, back to the game. I'm getting off track like so much right now. Up next, we got Mega Venusaur. Oh, Mega Venus. Yeah, I cannot talk today, boys. We got regular Life Orb Venusaur here. Running Chlorophyll, obviously. Life Orb you can run that or Choice Specs. Your personal preference. I do like switching between moves, and Protect is one of my favorite things in doubles. Just the fact that you can kind of predict, and that can really change the course of a battle by just getting that one nice predict, and then you can move on from there. Solar Beam, Sludge Bomb, and Giga Drain are my 3 coverage moves. You can run HP Ground for Heatran. The problem is a lot of times is obviously the Air Balloon. It's not that helpful in my opinion. Other options include Synthesis. Obviously in the Sun that's really helpful. I was actually debating right now instead of Giga Drain. However, outside of Sun, he's really vulnerable then, as he's only able to use Sludge Bomb and Protect. There's only one Sun type, only one Sun setter. You really gotta have like some options outside of Sun. You don't want it to happen, but it's bound to happen, especially in fights against other weather teams. For his investment, you're so fast with the Chlorophyll ability that you don't need the Speed Nature. You might as well be running a special attack since you're only base 100. You need all the special attack you can get. This thing that's a lot of nice 2-hit KOs on a lot of things. In turn 1, if you protect the Charizard, they'll usually try to target that to take out your only Sun setter. You're letting Venusaur get too much of a free turn often. However, if you're really worried about it, you can protect turn 1 with Venusaur as well. Up next, we got Heatran. Probably the least used thing on this team, however, it's very important. Air Balloon, Flash Fire. This thing absorbs a lot of fire type things. If anything, I would switch out Torkoal for this. You can also switch out for Arcanine. However, I like having at least one physical besides Landorus-Therian, which is Choice Scarf Lock. I like having at least one other physical attacker, so I want to get rid of Arcanine for Torkoal. Heatran here is a special wall for the team, like one of our very few defensive options. Which Arcanine set? I have Arcanine on my rain team as well. This is my special defensive set for Arcanine. Okay, just want to make sure. Heatran, 252 HP, 252 special defense. Just Flash Fire, nice to switch in against fire type moves against Venusaur and such. Set, like I said, 252 special defense. This thing tanks its own Earth power even after Air Balloons pops. This thing's amazing special wall. It gives you a lot of switching options out of Venusaur. Forms a great core with him as well, even if Venusaur is not that much of a defensive mon on my team. Landorus-Therian, typical Choice Scarf set. I use this like all my teams, it seems, guys. If you want to see some more variety, I'm sorry, but Landorus-Therian's my boy right here. Let's make this guy shiny real quick. Yeah, he's shiny. Alright, set details. I've explained it so many different times. 252 attack, 252 speed, attack nature. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Same moveset. Rock Slide's checked a bit more often. You can run Stone Edge. However, I've been missing so much lately. I've been trying to use more accurate moves, even if it does cost me some 2-hit KOs here and there. Rock Slide also has a nice extra effect of being able to hit both of them, trying to get some nice flinches. You'll see more in the fights. I get really lucky with that. Up next, we got Arcanine. This is a Leftovers Intimidate set. Flash Fire could be an option here, however since Heatran already has Flash Fire, I'm not thinking to run 2 of them, and it forms a nice Intimidate core with Landorus-Therian and Arcanine, and the fact that he's specially defensive invested helps him on the defensive spectrum as well. Morning Sun, Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, and Crunch. Crunch might seem a little out of place instead of like Wild Charge, however still does check a lot of the Psychic spam, and the team does struggle against water teams a good bit, so I could see running that instead of like Will-O-Wisp, which doesn't have as much use, especially since there's already a lot of Intimidate users and such. However, it is nice to get a Will-O-Wisp on like a Salamence or an Aegislash. Although a lot of Aegislashes now are running special sets, so I can always help you on that. However, any physical sweepers, or Landorus-Therians even, anything you can burn and cripple it for the rest of the fight, there's rarely status support, like status healing, like aromatherapy and such in doubles. So if a physical sweeper gets burned, it's pretty much crippled for the rest of the fight. And that can basically be considered a Pokemon knocked out. Set detail, special defense investment. You can run defense investment if you want just like a pure physical wall. That can work really well. You can also run Rocky Helmet instead of Leftovers. However, in doubles, it's really important to keep your recovery up a good bit. A bit more of an offensive metagame. Help keep them alive. Since this team's, even though it's offensive with Sun, it does have a few defensive checks and options that you definitely need. Jack of all trades, Thundurus, Life Orb, Prankster. Nothing you can really say about that. Just typical nice Life Orb gets a lot of extra damage. It can still go for its other moves. It's not choice locked. Prankster, pretty obvious choice. You're not going to be choosing what, Defiant. Yeah, because it's not using attack. You're not running attack with base 115 when you have 125 special attack with better options. Bolt Beam coverage and Hidden Power Ice and Thunderbolt, Thunder Wave, and Taunt. I do check a lot of my status moves. You'll see in one of the fights I do stop some stuff from setting up, which is super helpful. Thunder Wave can help cripple some stuff. You gotta be careful with ground type switching in, however. There's quite a few of them prevalent right now between Excadrill, not only so much Hippowdon, Landorus-Therian obviously, and Garchomps, both Mega and regular forms. HP Ice is really good against a lot of the dragons and also the ground types in the metagame and kind of help you protect against some like the switch-ins, like the ground type switching into Thunderbolts. Investment, speed, and special attack. This is like one of my only speed options. I mean, Venusaur in the Sun obviously can happen. However, a lot of times you can't always get that off. Teams will try to counter around this, and this is your one really good check to water type team. So keep him safe against water type teams. Okay, I rambled on a bit longer than I wanted to. Maybe I'll cut some of that out, edit it out a little bit. But we're going to jump into some battle, boys. We got 6 battles for you. All wins. I've been winning a lot with this team, so definitely try this one out in the ladder. Alright, boys. We got our fights going on here. Our first fight's against Fletcher Verde. Kind of a weird team to be running. His Exercatry doesn't really have any extra electric support with, like, Tapu Koko or anything like that. His Xatu's probably a screen setter. That's what I would think looking at this team. Machamp's obviously just a no guard, just doing some damage. Clefable maybe a setup wall or unaware. Kind of weird to see in doubles. Nidoking obviously just sheer force sweeper, and Zangoose was kind of the wild card of his team. So obviously you'll see in almost all my fights here, I leave with Charizard, Mega Charizard, and Venusaur. Just so much damage and speed output with Venusaur, and then damage between the two of them. Just hitting with those Fire Blasts and Solar Beams. Just truck anything. Like you'll see here, Solar Beam against the Zangoose. I had no idea what this thing was going to go for. Maybe Protect. I was kind of worried about that. That's why I protected on Charizard against the Machamp. Was obviously go for Stone Edges. And now this turn I can double hit the Machamp. His Exatu, I thought would just set up a screen, so I wasn't too worried. However, he does go for Psychic here. Wasn't sure that was just him trying to get some kill off in the beginning of the game, or maybe he just didn't have a screen on it. I don't really know what his Exatu set was. I go into Arcanine here, pretty good safe switch in here. I protect on Charizard, obviously he was going to go for a Thunderbolt on the Exercatry. I'm socially defensive, so I wasn't worried about Xatu hitting Arcanine. I can truck the Exercatry down. I was kind of surprised it didn't 2-hit KO, however I don't have any investment in attacks, so that's obviously why. Switching to Landorus-Therian here just to troll a little bit. Obviously I saw another Thunderbolt come in there. We go for the Crunch on Xatu. Doesn't do that much after the Feather Dance, obviously. However, Landorus-Therian can just go for the Rock Slide, net 2-hit KOs, and I thought, okay, he'd probably kill both of them here unless one of them are Choice Scarf. I can Morning Sun on Arcanine, and the Sun's over. However, I still can set it back up with my Charizard-Y because I did keep him safe, something you guys definitely need to be able to see to do. Now, at this point, I do get super lucky with some flinches. However, it didn't really matter at this point. Even though my Arcanine was at 0.5 attack, even if they started setting up on the Clefable, I wasn't too worried because I had stuff like Heatran and Thundurus shut it down. Thundurus can obviously taunt it, and then Heatran can just keep going for Flash Cannons until it gets special defense drops or crits. And there's something Clefable can really do there's nothing Clefable can really do to Heatran. This part's a little bit slow in the fight, however I might need to slow him down a little bit to normal speed because I'm trying to do a lot of commentating and the battle's just kind of flying by. But at this point, obviously, game over. Even though he got those 2 turns where he got flinched, it doesn't matter. I can just go to Thundurus here. I taunt. He went for the... I figured he would go for another Calm Mind or another... Or like a Recover. He goes for the Soft Boiled. Obviously, can't happen after Taunt. And that's just game. I'm going to Rock Slide. He gets on that 3%. Thundurus finishes off Thunderbolt. First fight out of the way. Even with the hacks there, it didn't really matter at all. His team just doesn't really have any good checks to Sun. However, his team isn't really that competitive in general. I have some more fights with some more competitive teams you'll see in a second. Okay, so for our second fight here, we have a rain team. I wanted to showcase at least 2 fights against the rain because this is what this team struggles the most against. Other weather teams, especially rain. Sand you can sort of deal with, and ice is obviously no issue for a fire type team. But rain gives this team fits. However, I am able to kind of work around their kind of switch-ins with Pelipper. They're also only running 1 rain setter, so both sides have to be really careful here in this fight to make sure that their weather is able to stay up, and you'll see who does that a little bit better in this fight. I lead with my Charizard-Y. He does not lead with his Pelipper. I was kind of surprised by that. However, it's kind of a good move on his part, even though he does switch it in, because if I would have Mega Evolved, it still would have gone off second. However, I do go for the double protect. Kind of wasn't really sure what he was going to go for here on turn 1. A little bit too safe on my part, obviously looking back on it, but hindsight's 2020. Sorbing gets Pelipper down to 1%. Focus Sash Pelipper, kind of weird. You don't really see that too often. I guess it makes sense since he's only running 1 rain setter. However, Leftovers or Citrus Berry would have worked as well because you could run Roost. His Hurricane misses, which is really unfortunate. However, then that's what you get for trying to rely on that 70% accuracy move. He had to see that was going to set up the Sun. Probably should have went for like the Ice Beam instead. That probably would have killed Venusaur still. Starbeam's going to kill Arachnid. Life Orb Venusaur does more damage than Charizard's. Even though Fire Blast in the Sun, Venusaur's Solar Beam will still do more. Jolteon goes in Thunder. I kind of predicted on Charizard. I thought, okay, maybe the Tentacle won't go for an Ice Beam. He goes for a Scald this turn. He has Ice Beam, however, which is kind of weird. So he could have saved his Jolteon if he went for Ice Beam, because it definitely would have KO'd Venusaur. However, now I'm able to kill Jolteon. Obviously, that crit doesn't matter. But yeah, see here, he goes for the Ice Beam. I was kind of surprised. Maybe he thought I would switch in, like, Arcanine or something like that. I don't know why I wouldn't. It's a Tentacruel, but I don't know. I didn't ask this guy why he did that. I'm an idiot here. Thunder Wave, the Eradicate, obviously doesn't work because of Prankster, not working on Dark types. So be careful with that, guys. Mega Sableye, Thundurus, you know, typical Prankster users, even that Bayonet or whatever. Make sure you're watching out for Dark types because they're immune to it. Second Punch does loads of damage, even at -1 to Thundurus, or to Landorus. However, that's gonna be game. At that point, a lot of his options were exhausted. My team, even though I lost my main push with Mega Charizard and Venusaur, his team was just exhausted after that, and I still had a lot of people to sweep up. Landorus-Therian makes a great sweeper in this because a lot of stuff gets weakened later on in fights. There's a lot of switch-ins. You can dual Rock Slide, dual Earthquake, and just kind of chuck down both members because they're usually weakened. You usually want to be able to KO anything. However, since stuff is weakened and there are usually 2 targets in the field, you can usually net KOs with Landorus. And Thundurus makes a good partner with him, countering a lot of stuff that he can't beat. Okay, so we have my rain team here. However, this one's a bit more different than the last one. This one's more of a complete rain team. Obviously, his Ludicolo is probably running Rain Dance or something like that, maybe even Gudra. His team, pretty much all his Pokemon benefit from the rain, unlike the last guy, which is kind of it's a more of a risky play, especially for water-type teams. However, this gives you more of an advantage in the rain. However, if the opponent's able to play around the rain or make the rain go away, your team's definitely a big issue. So it's a kind of a high-risk, high-reward play. I could have seen like Pelipper or Ludicolo as the lead, so I thought with mine just to see I can try to double protect and see if I can't get the Sun up afterwards. Obviously Pelipper sets up the Drizzle. Actually I Mega Evolved turn 1 since he led with Pelipper. I wasn't sure if he was going to bring him in, so I could have went for protect if he didn't lead with Pelipper and would have brought him in. He does go for the U-turn, which is good on his part. He can set up Rain again next turn, so I only get 1 turn of being able to do damage. I just go for the Sludge Bomb on Ludicolo. Fire Blast on Arachnid. Doesn't do as much as one, obviously. Either I got a low roll there, it's more of a specially invested set. I never really find out in this fight, so that's just kind of what's going through my mind as this fight's playing out. Sludge Bomb obviously is not much to Gudra. I'm not sure if it's an Assault Vest set or not. I haven't really done damage calcs of Venusaur against Gudra. Trying to take the Arachnid out, so that's obviously the more of a threat right now. We don't take that out because Rain comes up, obviously. Rain's up. Thunder on Gudra, however, doesn't do enough to kill Charizard. That's kind of an issue with Gudra. Even though he's really bulky, he's not able to do enough damage. Even a Thunder to a Charizard-Y does like what? 22.6%. He does get paralysis here, which is good for him. But he forfeits at this point. I guess he realizes he can't overcome this. His Pelipper is going to be in a lot of trouble the second he tries to come back in. I can switch out Charizard and keep setting up the Sun. He's going to keep losing his threats. Toxicroak is going to lose to Arcanine, so will his Fairy-type Pokemon. And Landorus-Therian can come in and clean up against Pelipper if my core right here in Charizard and Venusaur don't. So that was kind of GG. This team actually is like, it has a bad matchup against a lot of rain teams. However, if you can get the early turn predicts, the battle's basically over, especially if you can take care of their rain summoners. Okay, next fight here, we got a fight against Coco. More of a trick team. She's got Belly Drum Azumarill, nice core with Slowbro and Muck. Could be Mega Slowbro. That's what you're thinking beforehand. It is, but I'm just like trying to give you guys some like what I'm seeing here before the fight begins. Mimikyu's obviously set up, and Roselia kind of works as a nice core. Probably has Toxic Spikes maybe. I don't know, because it's kind of doubles. Toxic Spikes usually don't work too well. We also have Venusaur for that, so it's not that big of a deal. Kecleon's probably a support lead, which is what he goes for here. Kecleon, Mimikyu. So I lead with Landorus and Thundurus, thinking, okay, he'll probably lead with something that's going to try to set up. Obviously, most of the things that are setting up are going to go for attacking damage. I would lead with Thundurus as well to try to paralyze. I could have even taunted the Mimikyu, however, I wasn't too worried about it. Obviously, I can Earthquake here with Landorus. It could do massive damage to Kecleon, break the decoy of Mimikyu. He does get braked out, and then goes for the Foul Play. Even at -1, does a lot of damage. And then it might actually go into the calc. Let me know, guys. Mimikyu at -1 goes for the Twinkle Tackle. Would have killed Thundurus. So that was good that I led with Landorus as well. We're going to take Kecleon out here, and Earthquake is going to take out Mimikyu. I don't think that crit mattered. Mimikyu is very frail. Once its disguise is broken, and Landorus is pretty strong. And there's only one Pokemon on the field, so the damage from Landorus wasn't going to be halved. Thundurus goes down here. However, I do get the Taunt off on Azumarill, which is very important, because after you use Belly Drum, that probably would have been game. Especially since he has Aqua Jet on this, it would have been able to do loads of damage. Aqua Jet on Charizard is 26%. The Sun would have been able to kill it +6. Ice Beam goes out on Landorus-Therian. That's okay. We take out his Azumarill. He's kind of out of threats at this point. He goes into his Muck here, going to Venusaur. He goes for the Side Shock here, and that takes Venusaur out. I was kind of surprised by that. He misses the Gunk Shot too. That could have been very scary. I probably would have still won the fight. I still had Heatran for Muck and for Roselia, and then Arcanine could have slowly whittled down Slowbro. Wasn't too worried about that. The fight would have been really close though, so that miss was very, not appreciated, but was very helpful to win this fight in a very timely manner, not making this fight drag on out forever against the Mega Slowbro. So we have 2 more fights for you guys. Let's go check them out. Alright boys, toughest fight of the night here. We go against Benny Boo, Mega Salamence, Arcanine, Tapu Lele, Amoonguss, super annoying, Aegislash, and Hoopa Unbound. Something straight out of something you would see in VGC. Really annoying team. Nice Intimidate core with Silence before it Mega Evolves in Arcanine. Tapu Fini's gonna Tapu Lele, sorry my bad. It's gonna zip a lot that annoying Psychic Screen, so you can't use Priority Moves. So it's not a good against my team, however that's super annoying. Also, it's not a decent matchup against a lot of my Mons. Amoonguss is just super annoying support. So is Aegislash, and Hoopa Unbound, something you don't see too often. However, can disrupt a lot of teams. For his lead, I thought he might go with his just double Intimidate usage, which he does. Salamence and Arcanine. We got the predict we wanted for the lead. However, our lead can't do super a lot. And I was kind of worried about Venusaur getting hit by our Fire type move. However, I set up the Strat with Charizard. He goes for Protect on Salamence, and I go for Protect on Venusaur to see what he do with his Arcanine. Protect on Charizard as well, just in case. I don't really want to risk anything with Charizard. He can't do too much. I just wanted to set Sun up. Switches in the Amoonguss, which is kind of weird. I switched into Landorus-Therian, tried some Intimidate drop. Go for the Sludge Bomb on Arcanine. Looks a little special defensive, maybe some HP investment there. Goes for the Snarl. So obviously his team's super like support and like defensive, between Tapu Lele having some decent defensive options, Amoonguss, Aegislash are 2 very defensive bonds, and his Arcanine's obviously running some investment in HP at least, and he's running Snarl. Landorus goes, I go for the Earthquake, he switches into Salamence, good play on his part. Foul play from Amoonguss doesn't do too much. I go back into Thundurus here. He's got a good matchup against Salamence, and as long as he doesn't Mega Evolve. At this point, he hasn't Mega Evolved yet, so I wasn't really sure what he was gonna, if he even was Mega at this point. I know a lot of people run regular. However, it makes no sense not to, since he is not running another Mega option on his team. Something Wave misses on Arcanine, which kind of sucks. He's been staying in with the Amoonguss, so I go for the Fire Blast on Charizard since I'm faster. He was trying to get a Spore off. Doesn't work. I Protect here with Charizard. Try to Thunderwave the Hoopa. Again, I'm not paying attention because Prankster doesn't work against that. Flare Blitz does a lot to Thundurus. However, his Arcanine's now down to 41. Goes for a Z move against Charizard. So since he had Protected, doesn't do nearly as much as it would have. Only just 32% would have killed. Thundurus is able to take out Arcanine. He doesn't have Extreme Speed. If he's running a special defensive set or even a defensive set, he's not going to run Extreme Speed. That's kind of why I was safe going for that. At this point, I do believe he does Mega Evolve here, so I'm not faster with Thundurus, which is what I was trying to hope for here. Which he goes for the Hyper Voice and just takes out both my Mons. I was in a really bad spot at this point since Venusaur isn't able to benefit from the speed boost from Sun, and my Charizard was down, which is one of my best DPSers. Landorus gets some nice damage with Rock Slide. However, Salamence, now that it's bound to -2 in attack, -2 in special attack, actually -1 in each, actually yeah, -2 in each. I thought he had the switch here, so I go into Venusaur here, and he does have the switch. He goes into Tapu Lele. I do believe I'm able to take out the Hoopa Unbound here. Yeah, Venusaur is able to take it out with Sludge Bomb. And Arcanine goes for the Will-O-Wisp. I should have went for the Flare Blitz. However, I wasn't sure if he was going to switch out, because I thought that he would switch out the turn before. However, he was doing some good mind games against me. I protect on Venusaur to help keep him alive, because Tapu Lele is obviously going to want to take it out with Psychic. And I'm able to Will-O-Wisp the Aegislash. He's most likely special attacking, which he is. Social defense. However, he does get a nice drop there. However, now he does have to King Shield. He can't try to stay in against an Arcanine's Flare Blitz. I take advantage of that prediction that he tried to make there, and I do go for the damaging move against Tapu Lele. Able to take it down pretty far. He goes for the second against Heatran. So that was a really good turn for me. I'm able to predict out of Venusaur in the Heatran and take advantage of the fact that he had to go back into his Aegislash King Shield form. That's the turn that won me this fight. Arcanine goes out. However, I do Lava Plume here. Does nice damage. Nice crit on Aegislash. Didn't really matter too much because it didn't do that much in King Shield form. If anything, it's kind of bad that it did. Not bad that it critted, but he does get the nice weakness policy set off move on there. And then he goes into Salamence. I go into Venusaur. To play this turn here, I thought he would definitely King Shield on Aegislash. He wants to keep that +2 alive. He Hyper Voices, takes out Venusaur. However, now Heatran can beat both of his Mons. I know he could tank anything from Salamence unless it was running Earthquake. Probably wasn't, considering what else it was using, Draco Meteor and Hyper Voice. I protect here just in case he had Shadow Sneak, just to see what he had. If he did, it was probably game anyway, but he doesn't, so I can just Lava Plume safely there and win the game. That was really close. There's a lot of key plays. That one turn where I switched into Heatran and I went for the killing. I didn't go for the killing move. What did I go for? I switched out of Venusaur into Heatran, and then I Arcanine Flare Blitz to Tapu Lele to get within kill range. That was the turn that won me that fight. There was a really good back and forth fight. There's a lot of predictions on both sides. I can do more of an in-depth analysis of just that one fight if you guys want. However, I do think I covered that decently well with that. So with that, we have one more fight we're going to go check out. Alright guys, last fight here. We got more of a joke team again. At least it looks like that from the first perspective. When you first see this team, it's like, okay, they're running like all fairy types and then Delcatty. Delcatty's obviously a support one with Fake Out. Something probably has Follow Me. They're trying to Belly Drum, either a Azumarill or Slurpuff. That's pretty obvious from looking at their team. Everything else is just kind of like thrown on the team for whatever reason. This person's actually in the 1300s. I don't know how they got up that high. Anyway, I predicted Delcatty and then either Slurpuff or Azumarill lead, so I left both my sweepers, Charizard-Y, or my usual Sun setup. I can take care of Azumarill with Solar Beam. I checked both Solar Beams, so I knew Delcatty would Fake Out one. He chooses to Fake Out Venusaur, which is all good for me. Solar Beam the Azumarill, that's going to one-shot it. If you go with Slurpuff, I could still try to go for either Fire Blast or a Sludge Bomb against it. It may not kill, however, it would take it down to really low range. And next turn, Venusaur is still faster than anything it had. It could kill it. At this point, it's just running Rampage over his team. His team's super weak to my lead set with Sludge Bomb on Venusaur, and Charizard just trucks a lot of it, even though it doesn't have a super effective move. Sludge Bomb again gets another one-hit KO against Slurpuff. At turn 3, I say GG because it is. I missed that there. However, it doesn't really matter. Mr. Mime comes out. I protect on Venusaur, figuring he can probably go for something against that. This is a lead sheet, doesn't really matter. Thunderbolt only does 32% to Charizard-Y. This HP investment on him, see guys, it's paying dividends right now. That may not have killed regardless. However, against some stronger things like Mr. Mime, it still would have tanked. Against the Gudra, it tanked it very well. And at this point, I lost one Pokemon. That's fine. We go into Landorus-Therian, throw him a bone, give him a kill. He didn't really do too much for this team. He forms a nice Intimidate core with Arcanine. Didn't really see that too much in the battles I used. However, it is really nice against some of the more of the physical-sided attack teams. Let me know what you guys think about this team. Up next, we got I think an Ice team, an Ice doubles team, which is very bad. It was hard to win with. It was very hard to win with this Ice Mono type. Not Ice Mono. Ice. I guess you call it Hail. I guess you would just say it's Hail. Because it's not all Ice types. We got a Hail doubles team coming up for you guys in the next video. So make sure you guys subscribe to check that one out. We'll see you in the next video.